just turn the music down. So welcome to the next video. This is the build up to racing for Snetterton. It's 3 weeks away today. It's Saturday today. So the last video we showed Brands Hatch, we showed the damage that the engine has got, and now we're going to fix it. But what we've also done is decided to do some repairs on the lorry, and Sweep, who's walking off, he's fixing it for us. He's got to paint it, bless him. And then Sam's took it all apart, and we weren't actually expecting it to be a job like this, or should I say Sam wasn't expecting it to be a job like this.
I regret starting.
You regret starting? As you can see, he's wearing eyewear to protect his eyes.
In case this comes off, and
PPE all the way. So what he's doing now is he's grinding the bolt heads off the handle, because my lorry had lots of broken bits of trim. So I'm replacing this trim, the two headlight surrounds, the front bumper was rotten. What else we was replacing, Sam? Some of the lights and other bits and bobs. New fog lights, although they've not turned up yet. We've put a new alternator on it because it broke down on the way back. And yeah, so Sweet's got to paint it for us, and Sam's getting it apart. And I'm just starting to do the repairs on the engine, so we'll see what that's going to be like. I've got a cap for it because one of the main caps was broken. We bought all the bits to fix it, and that's it. Let's see how we get on. So Sam's done a good job, and he's got all the handles off. And there's the broken bits. Well done, mate.
thank you.
You're welcome. So Sam's on pickup engine duty. What are you doing, Sam?
I'm line honing.
It's line honing. Mainly because we want to just make sure that all this is nice and true, but also we've replaced number 4 cap because it was split in half. Yeah, that's it. He's set the line owner up. We're going to he's going to just blip it through once just to see any high spots in the hone, what you can see and feel, and then have a measure up and then correct the caps. So let's see what it looks like afterwards. Just go a bit more. You need to try and go all the way through that end stone so it wears evenly.
It's all that look there, look, so that's what I didn't do.
Okay, go on. So what Sam's going to do now is take the hone out and then have a measure up to see where we are. There's a top and bottom tolerance for these caps, and what we want to do is just set this so it's on the top tolerance. So Sam has honed the main line through, and this number 4 cap, which is the one that we're replacing, is big top to bottom. Side to side it's bang on, but top to bottom it's big. So what I've done with this machine here is machine the cap, and what that does is reduce the circle. So to do that, I put it in here. We put this level stop up, lock the cap off like that, and then switch the grinder on, and then take off however many thou we need to try and get it right. Now the thing with this is to do it in bits, put it on, measure it, because if you take too much off it, it's hard work trying to get it back round. So hopefully this is quite close. I'll get Sam to bolt it in, torque it up, and we'll check it. So it's lined honed to size now. The next thing we're going to do is hone the bores. So my pistons, which one of them's damaged, because they've been in for so long, they're an acrylite, and the bottom of the design of the piston is slightly different to the new ones that we have to use, which is an Amiga. So I bought a brand new set of pistons. I've got to machine the intruder off the piston because we can only run it flat top, and but the good thing is I've measured the outside diameter of the new piston, and it's just over 1 thou bigger than the old piston, so it means that we can correct any distortion in the bore as well. So we've left the main caps torqued up. We're torquing down this torque plate. This torque plate is a solid bit of steel. It runs the dowels. We'll torque this up to the correct torque. That will move the block and it will distort the bore, I would have thought, although this would have been torque plate honed originally, but we're going to check it anyway. And then we're going to hone it to the clearance that we run. We're going to hone it to size with some diamond stone, and then we're going to run over it with a cork just to get rid of the peaks. I'll try and video some of the close-up of the bore after it's done. There is still some cross-hatch honing on the bore, but it is very polished in places, especially where the piston rocks when it starts and stops at the top and the bottom. It scuffed the bore, so I'm hoping with the honer we can correct all that. But first of all, we've got 2 nuts missing, so we need to find them.
So today is Saturday, it's the week before Snetterton, and that's what the transporter looks like. The pickup doesn't have an engine yet, it's not assembled, it's not machined, the lorry isn't done, so yeah, we're going to have a busy weekend. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this truck back together. Big thank you to Sweet and Khan and all the other boys at Berkshire Body Shop for painting our new panels and even delivering them in here for us. So yeah, I'm going to lay all this out and then try and work out how it goes back together. It was almost one of them things where if I saw a bolt, it got undone and it all kind of just fell to the floor. So how it goes back together, I have no clue.
So it's Saturday night, there's 1 week to go before Snetterton. The block's been line honed for the new cap, so that's all perfect now. We've got new pistons which were, I think they was 1.5 thou, can't remember, I did it this morning, bigger than the original ones. So we've put the torque plate on the block and honed the block out to the right piston to bore clearance for the new piston. If I quickly turn this over. Go again. So this is the torque plate here. It's a solid bit of steel which is machined out. We then use the dowels and the stud and nuts that we're running to torque this torque plate down. And the idea of that is to move the bore and replicate the load what the cylinder head puts on. And because it's pulling the stud up from about halfway down the engine, as it torques it up, it pulls the block in. And it was good actually, because I'm pretty sure the last time we bored this engine out to the size, we didn't use a torque plate. As soon as we fitted the torque plate, it actually moved the bottom of the bore by about 2 thou, 1.5 thou, 2 thou. But now that is bang on the size that I want. We've changed all our honing stones to a different brand and diamond. So we've actually changed the finish of the bore as well. We've tried to put some or I've tried to put some deeper valleys in there to hold more oil, but then take all the peaks off using a 3-stage process to get the bore where I want it. So before I go home tonight, I'm going to get the torque plate off, get the main caps out of it, and get it in the cleaner, because the way it's going at the moment, I'm not sure if we're going to make it. Sam's got the bumper on the lorry, but he's struggling. We've bought an aftermarket bumper, brand new, and it doesn't fit too good, so he's been struggling a little bit with that. But hopefully tomorrow he can get all that back together, and he'll film that as well. So pressure's on at the minute. Don't know if we're going to make it with also going to Auto Mechanica, but we'll try. So I've now lifted the torque plate, well, the block with the torque plate attached to it, out of the Honer, and I thought I would just give you a better look of exactly what it is. So it is a massive just lumper, probably 3 or 4 inch lump of steel there. So the head bolts are torqued up, so I'm going to de-torque them. I'll lift that off and then just do a bit more prep work on this, and it's ready for the wash. Well, it's Sunday night and tomorrow we are leaving to go to Auto Mechanica, but I thought I would just come and spend a few hours down here on my race engine. If we've got any chance of making Snetterton, I need to be a little bit ahead of the game. So what I'm doing now is just screwing in the ARP main studs. Obviously you've seen it being line honed. It's been back through the cleaner. We've honed the bores, I've polished the crank, and yeah, now I am just starting to bolt it together. The plan is to get the mains all torqued down, know that it all rotates nice and free, and then get it on an engine stand. While I'm doing that, Sam is working outside on the lorry. Top things off. I don't feel great either. I think I've got a bit of a cold going on, but we'll work through it and burn it off, hopefully. Let me see if I can show you, Sam. It's a bit dark out here. It's quite light. So he's got the visor back on, all the front. Oh, this light's going flat. Right, Sam? No? Oh no. Let me go and switch this off and I will come and help. So Sam and I are on the pickup tonight. The oil leak that we had when we was on the circuit, the smoke that was coming into the car, was a hole here which I've welded up. Sam spent a bit of time on the Superflow trying to get the flow a little bit better through the port. Russell's and Johnny's and a few of the other cars, because they've got a later head that we've done for than this one. This one's 7 or 8 years old. They flow a bit better, so we're changing some of the bits on that. And one of the things that I've done here is we've blued around the combustion chamber and then carefully scribed around the gasket, so we can try and match up. The shrouding of the valves, so they're all the same, but we needed a line to work to. Don't want to go too far over, because then we'll break through the firing ring of the gasket. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the modifications to the combustion chamber that I want, and it needs a slight reface, because you can see where the gasket's bit into it in places. Then that's going to be washed, built up, tappets reset. I think we need to just open up this little oil way here, because that's quite thin, and that's the feed for the oil for the cylinder head. And yeah, and then carry on getting this back together. So unfortunately it looks like we're not going to make Snetterton, which I'm pretty gutted about, to be honest. We've got a day left, and the front that we've been putting on the lorry, where they're aftermarket parts, they don't fit perfect really, and we ain't body shop people, so we're struggling to get the front back on the lorry properly. And with going to Germany to the Auto Mechanica show and other workload, we just haven't got on with the engine either. So I'm going to carry on filming to get it all done, so you can see it on the rollers and everything. So the next job that I am doing is the pistons. When you buy these pistons, they have an intruder on them, so basically this part here steps out, and we're not allowed to run it like that. We have to run them flat top. So we have to run the pistons flat top, so we've got to machine the step off. So I started to video my pistons being machined, but the GoPro went flat. So I've done the first one and got it hopefully to my right compression height, and I just thought I would show you the difference between the Omega piston that we have to use. So you can see, if I show you like that, this intruder part here, we have to run them flat top. So I've machined that off. I know what compression height I've got to run in the engine, so I'm hoping that I've got it to that. And then there's a slight chamfer on the top of the piston here, and then there is a sharp edge around, or not sharp, but there is an edge around the valve reliefs in the piston. So this is the first one that I've machined. As you can see, it's now perfectly flat. I've put a nice chamfer back on there, and now what I've got to do is, where I've cut the piston with the lathe, it's left a little edge in there. So I don't want any of that, because I don't want it to cause any kind of hot spots and detonation or anything like that. So I'm now going to carefully deburr all of these grooves, and then I'll take it upstairs, measure the top surface. I'm going to machine the other 3 pistons and then make sure that they're all exactly the same. But that is the finished result of machining the piston. Just need to get that down a bit, can't really see it, but yeah, there we are, all done. So race car update, it's Friday. The engine is on the stand, cranks in, it's all honed to size, that's all sorted now. So we've got to gap the new rings for it. The pistons are machined and ready to go in. The cylinder head has had extra work. The valves have been ground in, so that's looking nice. Then we've got the pistons I machined yesterday, so they're all ready to fit. And then the lorry, Sam was working on that till quite late last night while I was doing a M3, grinding an M3 crank for West Tune. But so far the lorry is getting there. So what we've had done is we bought a new bumper, the 2 new headlight surrounds, we've got a new step for it, the wiper panel, the slam panel's new, and then what I wanted was to try and make the window look smaller. So Sweep at Berkshire Body Shop and the boys there, they've done a wicked job. They've painted all the front panels for me, he's painted the visor for me, the wiper panel, everything's just nice and clean. We've put new fog lights in it because they was rotted out. I'm sorting out the spotlights, but I don't know whether to put a full bull bar on it instead of one of the little light bars. So we've put that back on for now because I haven't kind of made my mind up. And then we've got to then carry on just trying to do down the sides to tidy the sides up, but that'll probably be at the end of the year. And then I think, depending on what happens, it'll either be fully painted or wrapped. But the front is so much nicer now. Like I say, it had a broken bit up on the on this corner here. I pigeoned it and broke all the plastic out there, and then it was cracked on this part here, and then it had a big bit missing from where was it, that grill part there, half of that were missing. And then, like I say, the spotlights was both rotted out, one of them was cracked. And then the only problem is where this is aftermarket, it's a bit long there and it's broken the step, but we've got a new step which once again Sweep's painted, so we've got to take that step off and replace that. But it got quite late last night, and then it needs some sort of back to black on this to make that look nicer. Well, like I said, it's Friday morning, we've got a lot to do, get it rolling roaded and everything. Don't think Snetterton's going to happen, but we'll see. If not, it's ready for the next round. Well, it's 7:30 and Sam is still trying to get us to racing. The engine's built, the engine's in the hole, he's just getting the gearbox in now. This is real life trying to get to racing. This is what it's about. I've still got to finish a customer's pair of cylinder heads off for TWR, the V12 jag heads, so I'll show you them as well, just to show you how much pressure we are under. I've just driven to Uxbridge, which is an hour and a half, to grab some valve seats. John there really kindly stayed open for us because I ordered the wrong ones. So that's that head there. I've got the exhaust guides in, I've got to get the inlet seats in, then machine it, fit the seats, and then get the valve to the right height. So there's a certain height that they want to run from the spring base to the tip of the valve. And there's a pair of these, so and I've promised that I'll leave them out for tomorrow for them. So yeah, it's all hands on deck here. I mean, it's a bloody nightmare. It's just me and Sam, and we're trying to get work done and the pickup so we can go racing. Well, it's 11:15 here. It's Friday night. Sam has left about 5 minutes ago in the lorry to head to Rays to try and rolling road the pickup. We got it running. We didn't film it because it all went a little bit mad last minute. We had the car wouldn't start, so Sam was trying to fix it while I was trying to finish the TWR heads off. He then asked for a little bit of help because he couldn't. Well, he could do it because he can fix anything, but he just needed 2 people there really, and we worked out that it was the there was no signal from the crankshaft position sensor because the rev counter weren't moving when we was cranking. So Sam changed the crankshaft position sensor. That didn't work. I then got underneath the car, pulled the protective sleeve back on. In fact, I'll show you on the wiring loom, and spotted a broken wire going to the crankshaft position sensor. So we peeled the wire back and just held it on the terminal because it snapped flush, and the car just sprung straight into life. So that was good, new engine and whatnot. And then luckily I've got a spare loom for a pickup, which is that one there, what I use for the engine dyno. Yeah, we nicked the wire out of that, and Sam's tied it up, and then yeah, he's shot off to Rays. So that's the culprit there, that broken wire snapped clean off. But well, we'll see. There's still a lot to do. The car obviously needs rolling roading and tuning and running in because everything in it's new bearings, new pistons, new rings, and well, I've still got this cylinder head to do here. I can't leave until this is finished, which is one of the TWR jag heads. I have to put the valves in at an installed height. So today, the valve seats that I bought for it was actually too shallow. So I shot down to a friend of mine's in Uxbridge who he sells valve seats. So I called him when I realised what was wrong. I phoned him up and I said, have you got any valve seats this size? He says, yeah. Luckily he kept the workshop open for me. He waited for me, so I bought them back. But it's a V12, so it's a pair, but I've got to get one head done. So tomorrow, if we do go to Snetterton and we're racing tomorrow and Sunday, they've got one that they can get on with and build and set the tappets and everything. And then I'm going to try. Oh, I was hoping Sam had left his keys here for his cars, because oh no, he's done it. Oh, he's a good lad, isn't he? I was going to say I need to put his van away, but he's already done it. I put my van away. I'll pull my van forward. And then while I was in Uxbridge, I also bought some more tooling, stuff that I told him I was going to buy off him, and I just needed the time to go and collect it. So while I was down there, I said I'll pay you for them bits and bought them. So I'll show them on another video. Let me just try and get this not so bright. There we go. So what I'll do is on another video I'll do a workshop update, so I can show you this new tooling that I've bought and just what's going on in the workshop so far. I'm probably rambling a little bit actually, because I'm actually quite tired from going to Auto Mechanica and all this fucking bleeding work that we're trying to get done. And so yeah, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but my wife's at work as well, so I don't really need to be at home, only to have the dogs. But yeah, that's it. My car's on its way to raise, to be rolling roaded, to make sure it's all right, and then we are going to try, just to put that there, and then we are going to try and make Snetterton with a car that hasn't actually been touched mechanically since Donington. The thing is absolutely filthy. We took the engine out on one of the previous videos to, in fact I'll show you one of these tools now. So it's basically a long Sunnon bore gauge, and this one's really good because you use it for main housings. So when we do the main line on my line owner, I just, at the moment I use my normal bore gauge, which is that out, which is that, if I show you the difference. Stand up. So at the minute I use my normal bore gauge, which I have to basically go down a few on that one and then turn it round and then go up a few on that one. Well, anyone that's into engine reconditioning know that these Sunnon gauges are a fortune. I think they're a couple of grand new, and I've always wanted the one for doing mainline, which is that one there. So, and the nice thing about it is when you put these in a bore, you kind of put them in like that and it rocks, but with this one here it has this lever which adjusts the top, so you can put it in square, pull the lever in and then let the lever go and it'll tell you the size. So I'm really chuffed about this. I've waited a long time to get one of them, and it also comes with a box of pointers for it as well, so different size pointers. So yeah, I'm chuffed about that. I can't remember what I was saying now. Anyway, can't remember what I was saying, so I'm going to crack on and get one of these cylinder heads done, and yeah, hopefully we'll make it to Snetterton and we'll be racing, but let's see. So it's 7:30 Sunday, no sorry, it's 7:30 Saturday morning, and why's that not centralising? And it got too late. It was midnight before Sam got down to Ray's. Ray was still there actually, but he didn't really want to run the rolling road at midnight, which I completely understand, to be fair. So I was still here doing the Jaghead. Sam come back. He slept in the lorry outside here, the workshop, and I've got here at 7:30 and the lorry's not here, so I should imagine him and Ray have arranged to rolling road the car quite early. I'm finishing off at least one of the Jagheads, and then I'm waiting to hear from Sam. I'm also waiting to hear back from Pickup Truck Racing to see if we can miss qualifying and just start at the back. So I'll keep you informed. Right, so it's Saturday at 12 o'clock. Sonny, the championship organiser, has said that we can start from the back and not qualify. The car's just finished on the rolling road, so that's all good. Me and Clay are now en route to Snetterton, aren't we, Clay? So we've got to stop for some petrol, we've got to stop for some diesel. Clay wants some food, and we're going to be racing hopefully later today. Clay, where are we?
Snetterton.
Snetterton! We've made it. The lorry's not here in my car yet, and we've only got an hour before we're out, and we've got to screw it in here and finish a few bits off. But we are here. So, all good. Let's see what happens. So we've got to do a qualifying session at 9:30, so it's 3 laps. So we're just getting the car ready. It is now 9 o'clock, so we're just going over it, making sure everything else is ready. Michael's put us up in his awning, so thanks to Michael. We'll part with him and Matt in the 84 truck. Matt's had an issue with his temp sensor, so hopefully he's fixed that now. And yeah, mine's all good to go with a bit of luck. Right, I took it off. So I've just done the 3 qualifying laps. Time's a bit off, engine feels strong. I don't know if it's because I just weren't in the pack of pickups to drag me along a little bit, but it was about 6 seconds off the pace. I felt like I was trying, so that's a bit worrying. But we're just going out for the first race now, and we'll see what happens. Lap was the last lap, so they're about to cross the line here. So I'm back in after race 1, and I can't believe that my GoPro has crashed and not recorded the footage. It started, and then I don't know if it got too hot or something, but there's no footage on there, so that's a nightmare. But rundown of the race, we started at the back of the circuit, which I think with the amount of cars that's out at the moment was 12th. Car was amazing, flying, got up to 7th. I was keeping my pace. Then I got hit with another car come from the inside of the circuit to the outside to try and get his line for the bend, and just wiped himself out on the front of my car. And after that the tracking, I think, was a little bit out, so it just weren't quite as pointy in the bends. And then I broke myself in the hairpin, spun out and ended up last again, and then we got back up to 8th place. We overtook 2 or 3 with a few laps to go. So it was a good race. I'm pleased I stayed, and Sam's getting the truck ready for the next race. So Sam's made a few changes to the pickup and we're getting ready for race 2. I'm going to try and put this camera in because my other camera didn't catch any footage, so hopefully we'll get a bit. But we've made a change to the rear ride height. The front suspension was loose where it took a bump on the wheel, so we've tightened all that up, but everything else is pretty good. Clay on our way back from Snetterton. Hard weekend really, from the engine failing in Donington and then fixing it Friday night. So I'm back in the workshop now after Snetterton, and I thought I would just give a bit of a rundown of Snetterton and the problems that we had and the race, and the fact that we didn't really get a lot of in-car footage actually. So I didn't think I was going to make Snetterton. It was a nightmare. I weren't too fussed about it, but Sam did his usual and just kept working to get the lorry finished. We got the engine built. Ray then got there Saturday morning for 7 o'clock to put it on the rollers. I spoke to Pickup Truck Racing about the fact that I could be there to make the numbers up, but I'd miss qualifying. They said that's fine, they'd get me in. We got to Snetterton on the Saturday. Traffic was not great, to be honest, but we got there. But we got there a little bit too late to be able to do 3 laps to qualify for the race on Saturday night. So after trying to negotiate to get my truck out there, the clerk of the course just said no. So I was a little bit frustrated with that, to be honest. I felt like we put a lot of effort in to get there, albeit it's my race car and my fault, I suppose, but for them not to let me just race, I mean, I could have gone out just before the pace car gone out and done 2 laps and then done 1 lap behind the pace car, but there we are. It's one of those things. So Sunday morning, I had to do 3 laps in the Hyundai Coupe qualifying, which, to be honest, it made me realise just how immensely fast the pickups are. Because we're racing against other pickups that are all built the same and pretty much the speed is the same, you take it for granted on how well they are, how good they are on the brakes, how good they are in the bend, how good they are on the throttle. And if anything, racing against something else, it almost becomes dangerous because of the way you approach them, how much speed you've got going into the bend, especially in a pickup. A lot of this mixed class racing, yeah, they're driving fast. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to put any of that down, but there's certain formulas there where you've got no more to give, and a pickup is one of those. So when they go a little bit wrong, there's no margin for just correcting it. So in qualifying, when you're trying to put in a time, it makes it quite hairy when you're up against something that's a fair bit slower. But it was good of the Hyundais to let me out, so I appreciate that, and it was good of BARC and MSV and Motorsport UK to allow me to do that as well, else we wouldn't have been able to race. So Sunday, started the race. We had to start both races from the back because of no real qualifying. So I started 13th, and my car is just, it was fast. It was fast straight away, and we managed to get up to 7th place for, quite quick. And I thought, I think we're going to do all right here, because the car was really handling well, plenty of power. And then there was a car in front. Well, there was two cars in front of me, Michael Smith and Mark Willis. Michael was in the middle of the circuit. Mark had gone up the inside of Michael, and my car, I decided to put it on the outside because I needed to be on the outside to make the next right-hand bend. So I was putting it on the racing line. And like I say, my car's tramping at the moment. So I'd gone up the outside of Michael, and I was just coming up to overtake Mark, but knowing that I'd get round him because I was in a better position on the circuit. And just a driving error, I think Mark didn't see my car. I think I might have been in his blind side through his mirror, and he just drove from the inside to the outside, spun himself out, but hit my steering and loosened it all. So my car actually struggled after that. It pushed a little bit. The handling wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. But, then I had a little spin. I half spun at the hairpin, which if I had the footage, you would have seen this. Got back up to 8th place. So I was really happy with that. I was happy with 8th because of the damage and the spin. And then the second race on the Sunday, straight away, another truck, Dan Fisher, I believe he had a gearbox fault, and he just spun right in the middle of the track, and me and Matt Moore had nowhere to go, and I hit him pretty hard, and Matt also hit him quite hard, which then my car after that lost quite a lot of power. It just went quite flat. So I'm thinking I've damaged a sensor, or I've damaged a fuel pump, or something, airflow sensor, maybe. Sorry, not airflow sensor, water temp sensor. It hasn't got an airflow sensor. Water temp sensor, or air temp sensor. Something's not quite right, and it just didn't feel the same. But anyway, we managed to race and finish. I think once again started 13th. I think we got up to 10th or 9th or something like that. So not the greatest result in the final. And then on the way back we got caught in traffic, which is typical, so we didn't get back till late. The lorry, all the problems that we're having with the lorry at the moment, that didn't stop. By the time we got back, we noticed that it's got a coolant leak, so I'm thinking that it needs a radiator. Luckily, Sam's inspected it and found that the header tank has got a crack at the bottom. So Gary at GB Commercials, he supplied all the bits for the front, and he also got me an header tank pretty quick as well. So yes, that's it. So back to work now. We've got to earn some money to pay for the next round of renovations in here, and the next round, which is Knock Hill. So Knock Hill is in 2 weeks. It's a 4-race round. I've never been to Knock Hill, so I'm pretty desperate to do it. If there's any businesses that want their name on the pickup truck that can help out with getting my pickup there, that would be appreciated. Feel free to drop us a comment or email or get in touch. That would be good. So yeah, Knock Hill next, and carrying on with the workshop. We've now brought the crank grinder over, so that's in place, and we've got the line owns in place and the super finishers round the back. But my intention after this video is to do a workshop update, so I don't want to show too much, albeit the workshop's far from finished. I do think it's time that I showed you guys about a little bit. You've seen it from when it was just an empty workshop, so I only feel it's right you see it as we are now too. So that might actually be a midweek video. I'm thinking about doing a small quick update video midweek, just to show what's going on. So the main work and everything will be on a Monday, and then like Thursday I'm thinking about doing another little video. What do you guys think to that? Is that something that you'd like to see? Do you think it's worthwhile having more of a chat and a look around what's going on, or are you happy with just the once a week work? Anyway, let's get this video up today, and I will catch you on the next one. If you guys could leave the comment crank in the description below. Also, please, if you're watching this and you've not subscribed, if you're enjoying it, please please hit the subscribe button, hit the alert bell down below, and yeah, we'll keep on filming and keep on getting stuff out there. The other thing also is we've now got some Grace Engine Developments mugs. So anyone that's interested in buying one of them, we can ship them out. But we're going to do some competitions soon as well to win a mug, and we're going to do some clothing next. So get prepared to see that, and catch you later. Ta-ra.
My name's James and I want to go fast. Woo!